What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Zero to a Funded series. Today is day 5. Make sure to drop a like on this video if you enjoyed, and if you are not already subscribed, if you could hit that subscribe button, it would mean the absolute world to me. But let's get straight into this. Today, we are going to be doing a psychology lesson. Now, psychology is one of the biggest things in trading, and it is the reason that 97% of traders fail. We're not going to be looking at the chart or anything today. This is just a little slideshow that I've put together, and there's a lot of things that I actually want to touch on. A lot of the things that I'm going to talk about are things that I wish someone had kind of broken down to me before getting into trading, just so that when the time came where certain things were happening and my psychology, my mental was so fucked up, I would kind of maybe, have a little bit of a better understanding of it. Without any further ado, let's jump straight into it. Now, there is a general consensus of the correct way to trade. Now, I am a very firm believer of there is no right way to trade, but when I say that, I don't mean that there is like a correct strategy or a correct technical side of trading. But within the trading community, it is generally accepted that the proper way to trade is to create your own model with a set of rules, and you follow these rules every single day, and you know that over a long period of time you will be profitable, and you know that by collecting data from back testing, live testing, and demo trading. We're going to be going in depth into what back testing is, live testing, and obviously demo trading is what we talked about the other day. So hopefully you guys have been on your demo account and you've got familiarized a little bit just with executing trades. Backtesting is basically when you're creating a strategy, there is a feature on TradingView where you can pretty much replay the chart at any given point in time. So I can select, a day from last week, last month, last year, if I wanted to, and replay out the day and, put together a set of confluences or a list of rules for myself, and I can kind of, test the chart. And I can maybe, form some kind of strategy. I can test it out over like, say, 30 trading days, collect some data. And then after I've done that, I will actually live test it on a demo account, following those same rules, but actually executing trades in the live market, collect some data for that, put it all together. And then once I'm actually on a funded account or somewhere where, it actually matters, I'm going to be very confident in my trade because I have this specific model, or not even such a specific model, but a specific set of rules that I know that I have to follow because it's what I have tested again and again. And that confidence is an extremely important thing within trading. If you are not confident within yourself and within your setup, within your strategy, within your rules, it is going to be your downfall. Which brings me to my next slide. Got a lot of points here. 97% of traders fail statistically, and this is a number that has actually been literally studied. I'm pretty sure I Googled it, and it was like 97% of traders who trade over 300 days end up losing money in the long run. And a lot of them are going to quit, and it is for these reasons. Number one, they cannot handle losses. Number two, they are emotionally connected to their P&L. This is probably the biggest one on here. Now, it comes with time. Emotionally disconnecting from the chart and your P&L is very, very difficult. Now, this is because I talked about this on day 1 where I did, our introduction to trading. And I talked about how, you have an emotional connection to money, right? Our whole lives, pretty much we've just been grown up, nurtured, especially, in this country where pretty much every single thing is a business and every single thing in our lives revolves around money. This has pretty much, even if it's subconsciously, planted this idea in your head that money is this important thing. And we have an emotional connection to it. We have an emotional connection to it because we quite literally, if you live in the United States, need a pretty good amount of money to live comfortably. Ever since I moved out of my parents' house, I have realized that life is pretty fucking expensive in the United States. Just to live, it costs a lot of money. And that then, boils down to on the inside, I'm very emotionally connected to money. At least when I first started, I was, but now I'm at a point where when I'm in a trade and I see my P&L fluctuating up and down, I know that that's real money that I'm making or losing that I can withdraw into my bank account, but I literally feel nothing while I'm in the trade. And that is the point that you need to get to, where you're going to start making money. So that is probably the biggest thing. Next point I wrote here, they are undisciplined, breaking the rules. This is the probably the second biggest thing, right? Going back into my last slide, what did I talk about? You have a strategy where you have a set of rules. And even if you don't have a super specific model, you still have a set of rules that you follow every single day, right? They can be a little less vague, but you still have an outline and you're not just going onto the chart and completely winging it, right? You have to have some sort of order. Now, the problem is 97% of people are treating trading like gambling, and they're just going onto the chart and they're fucking, oh, this looks like it's about to go up, let me enter longs. That will never, ever work. You might get lucky for a couple days. You might get lucky for a couple weeks doing that, but eventually it will all come crashing down. I promise you that. Acting on your emotions while trading. Now, you've probably heard, the words emotional trading thrown around, especially in the Discord. We joke about it a lot. Pretty much while you're in a trade, you're always going to feel emotion, even me now, right? I feel emotion while I'm in a trade, but the biggest and most important thing is that I'm not acting on said emotions and moving my TPs and moving my SLs or exiting early or exiting late. Generally speaking, I would say over 90% of profitable traders, what they're doing when they're entering a trade, they have a level or an area where they plan on taking profit, and they have an area or a level where they plan on stopping themselves out and taking a loss, right? For me personally, when I get in a trade, I know exactly where my take profit is, where I'm going to exit and take a profit if I hit, and I know exactly where my stop loss is, where if price hits, I'm going to get out there and accept my loss. Now, problem is, a lot of people, especially new people, they either won't have a take profit or a stop loss at all, which is very bad, or they will be moving their take profits and stop loss all over the place while they're in a trade because they are watching price move up and down. They're not confident in their setup. They're not confident in themselves as a trader, which just comes with time. Obviously, it's very hard to be confident in yourself as a trader, especially when you are beginning out of the gate. It all just comes with time. But your emotions and your mental state are going to be the biggest enemy when you get into this. And it's very hard. It's why trading is one of the hardest things, because it's truly just a battle against yourself. Now, you can literally see here, 90% of traders fail for these reasons. You can see I didn't write once. It's just because, they don't have a good strategy, or they don't have enough market experience. Right? It's nothing on here is technical. This is all in your mind, guys. And remember what I said on day one. I said, this is all up here. It's all a mental game. All profitable traders, on the flip side, are what I said earlier, emotionally disconnected from the charts and their P&L. Once again, this just comes with time. It has taken me a very, very long time to get to this point. And even now, where I have actually seen this money come into my bank account, I am at the point where I know that I am literally trading with money that I can actually withdraw into my bank account. Like, it feels like real money, but I don't care. If I lose, I don't care, because I'm so confident that I know that I'll get it back, and I'm profitable long term. And all profitable traders are highly disciplined. Once again, ties back into my last slide. If you are undisciplined, constantly breaking your rules, you're going to fuck yourself over. All profitable traders are highly disciplined. They trade the same way every single time. Right? When I open the chart, or any profitable trader opens the chart, I know exactly what I'm looking for. You need to know exactly what you're looking for. We're going to go into more in depth on how to figure out exactly what you're looking for, but you need to know exactly what you're looking for, because if you don't, you are going to subconsciously force yourself to see things on the chart that aren't actually there. This is one of the biggest things that I did when I was unprofitable, that once I realized I was doing it, really helped me to kind of flip that switch. Basically, I didn't know exactly what I was looking for. And the problem is with that is when I looked at the chart, I would almost look at whatever was right there in front of me, and I would just be like, oh, that looks good for longs, because I would just put a bunch of shit together and be like, oh yeah, that looks good. I would literally force myself to see something, and I would constantly be looking for a trade. While I was staring at the chart the whole time, I would constantly be looking for a trade, and that is not what you want to be doing. You need to know exactly what you're looking for, and the good thing about knowing exactly what you're looking for is 90% of trading now for me is just waiting for that setup. 90% of trading of my day is just me sitting here watching the screen, waiting for what I want to see show up instead of not knowing and just kind of trying to wing it, right? And then another really important thing, you're managing your risk properly. I just threw that in there. We're going to go more in depth into that another time, but managing your risk properly, once again, is very, very important. I touched on it briefly the other day, but guys, your emotions, I can't drill it into your head enough. If you are losing, it is your fault, and it is all up here. Trading is a mindset. Leads me to my next slide, which is consistency in trading and in life. Now, this is a skill that once you learn, you will always have. It's going to take you years of failure and lost money and a lot of fucking looking at yourself in the mirror and saying, what the fuck is wrong with me? Why can't I control my own emotions and my own brain? But once you break through, you will exchange that for a lifetime of freedom because there is infinite scalability within trading. Well, obviously not actually infinite, but pretty much, there is a lot of scalability within trading. Now, this is kind of something that I've never really heard anybody talk about. Your life outside of trading will, and I say will in all caps because I promise you it will translate onto the chart. Now, obviously, if trading is all up here and it's an emotional mind game, if you are having some, very stressful kinds of things going on your outside life, if you're not really in the best situation financially, if you're just generally stressed out, if you're kind of, on edge, if you've just got a lot of shit going on and your brain just is fucking discombobulated and all over the place, when you get on the chart, what makes you think that you're just going to be able to lock in and be, this disciplined fucking grandmaster following all your rules? You're not. And the problem is you're going to get shafted over because of this, and it's just going to make matters even worse. And that's just going to create this endless snowball effect where every day you come back onto the chart, you're more annoyed because you've got all this other shit going on in your life, and you lost the day before. Now you feel like you need to revenge trade. You need to get it back. You're just going to end up losing more, and it just snowballs. It gets into this bigger snowball where eventually you can't take it anymore and you call it quits. That is the life cycle of 97% of traders, guys, which is why I believe that it is very important to focus on your life outside of trading. Now, not to get too off topic, but just general kind of life lesson, especially as a young man. Guys, it's very important to form good habits in your day-to-day life and teach yourself to be disciplined, whether this be, what I challenge you guys to do actually is I want you guys to start doing something every single day. It can be the smallest thing. It can literally be as small as making your bed when you wake up. And then maybe, the day after that, maybe you make your bed and then you read one page of a book. Maybe the next day after that, maybe not even the next day, maybe the next week, maybe you make your bed and read a page of a book every day for a week. And then the next week, you make your bed, you read a page of a book, and you, write in your journal for 10 minutes, right? And you stack these. That's actually a really good book that I highly recommend. It's called Atomic Habits, I believe. If you guys can get your hands on that book, it is a very, very good read, and I would highly recommend it, especially as a young man. But guys, teaching yourself to be disciplined is just in life in general is step one to becoming a profitable trader. Teaching yourself to have a fortified mind as a young man is step one to becoming a profitable trader. If your life is a fucking shit show and it's all over the place outside of trading, you are not going to be able to focus on this. You need to be consistent outside. You need to just be consistent in general in life and have a certain mindset going into this in order to become the person that you want to be, which is a highly profitable day trader. And guys, that is going to wrap up this video. I really hope that everything I'm saying is making sense. And if there's one video that I really hope that you pay attention to in this series, I really truly hope that it is this one. And maybe even come back to it. If you start to lose some trades or kind of get down in the gutter, I want you guys to come back to this video and remember everything that I'm saying. Because legitimately, once you get it, once it clicks up here, it's so easy. Trading is so easy once it clicks up here. once it makes sense, and once you start to really have that mind fortification and you're emotionally disconnected and your world does not revolve around trading or the money, that is when it gets easy and you start to break through. The less that you care about trading, the more upside potential that you have. And it's very ironic because trading is the one thing where it's almost like the less work you put in, the more you get out. It's one of the other reasons that trading is so hard is because that's such a confusing concept to grasp. Our whole lives, we've been taught that the more work you put in, the more work you get out, which is true to a certain extent, but at the same time, it's not. And I can't really think of a better way to put that into words, but you'll see the longer that you go into your trading journey what I mean. But guys, that's going to wrap up this video. Make sure to drop a like. Once again, if you made it to the end, I thank you so much. Drop a comment if you're enjoying the series so far, and hit that subscribe button if you have not already. And with that being said, I will see you guys tomorrow. Love you guys so much, and yeah, peace.